And now comes another very, very important part of a Toastmasters meeting and a contest, and that is the evaluation contest. Because obviously, like when we're delivering a speech, whenever we're delivering a table topic, we want to receive feedback. We want to see how we did. And that's why evaluation is such an important part. And when I joined Toastmasters, I did not like evaluation that much because I used to feel like it's like always just giving recommendations, feedback, and I thought it was not that interesting. But I was so wrong because when I actually started giving evaluations, that became one of my most favorite parts of a Toastmasters meeting. And obviously, winning the district championship was really like one of the best moments. So, evaluation is very, very important. Now, for an evaluation speech as well, what I would like to say is these are a few very, very important points. So we can take note of these. The first one is that we are always evaluating the speech and not the speaker. So if a person is giving a speech today, we want them to use the recommendations and the commendations for their future speeches. So we are always giving such recommendations that will help them for the future speeches. And we're not evaluating the speaker. And also, we are not really evaluating, like we are evaluating the speech and not the speaker. And a very common mistake that a lot of evaluators make is to repeat the speech. That is not what we should ever do. Like we just heard the third speaker today give an icebreaker speech, right? Now, if an evaluator is repeating, for example, the same story that you spoke about the stream, you spoke about how you were standing on the rock, how you got washed away, how you were drowning, how you were rescued, how your mom inspired you. So if you are repeating the speech fact by fact, that shows that we are a good listener. That's very good. But that is not really, because that will just waste time. So the best way is to start off, and you can maybe start off again with those opening techniques with a quotation relevant to that speech, or with a question again. Or another very good way is to take a particular quotation from that person's target speaker's speech. Or if not a quotation, then maybe a statement or a fact from that particular person's quotation, like speech. Like today we heard Toastmaster DTM Zakir talk about the mentor-mentee relationship. So maybe there was one sentence in his speech that really stood out. So we could start the evaluation from that particular statement, for example. And then obviously after greeting everybody, then we immediately move into the evaluation. So just start off by telling maybe 2 or 3 really, really good highlights about the speech. For example, you could talk about, again, the structure, content, delivery. So you could say one of the best things about the speech was how you had such good transitions, or how your content was so easy to follow, and also explain why. Like, I really liked your content because it was simple, it had some stories, it had humor, and I liked it because humor is a good way to connect with people. So you've talked about one good point. Then another good point about the delivery could be that you had such good expressions through your voice, and it connected with me because I felt that I could feel the story with you. So try to have like those sort of commendations from the speech. And to get the commendations, you could look at the structure, content, delivery. And these things have a lot of, small areas within them. So for the delivery, it could be the body language, the stage movement, the facial expressions, the gestures, the eye contact, the voice modulation. So in the delivery itself, there are so many factors. Then again, for structure, you have the transitions, you have the opening body conclusion. You have basically you have the way they broke down the speech. So even in the structure, you can have so many commendations and areas of improvement for the speaker. Then in the content also, you have a lot of factors. For example, what kind of stories were there? What kind of facts were there? Did the speech add any value to you? Did they do any proper research? So, in these three main umbrella umbrella top areas, you have a lot of things under those which you could talk about. That's for the commendations. Now, a lot of these professional Toastmasters and evaluators, they use the CRC technique or the sandwich technique. So you start giving commendations while coming from the commendations to the recommendations. So we just don't say that, okay, now these are the recommendations. Now to help you go to the next level, or now to help you improve, or now I have some recommendations. Instead of that, we can make it more creative. For instance, when I won the district championship, the target speaker gave a speech on water, okay, like about the oceans and water and all. And how I transitioned from the commendations to the recommendations was, I told him that you are a master swimmer who can dive into the deepest of oceans. But to help you open your wings and fly, I have a few recommendations for you. So that way you can have like any aspect of the speech, for example, and try to relate that to how you can transition to the recommendations. And the recommendation part is very important because there are a lot of points for recommendations and the analytical part. And for the recommendations also, you could have 2 to 3. And when you're giving the recommendation, say what is the recommendation and why you think this could be improved and how it could be improved. So for example, if I'm telling, for example, Toastmaster Anupama, that Toastmaster Anupama, in my opinion, you could have improved on your facial expressions. And you could do that by maybe having a smile in some places, or maybe talking through your face a lot more. And why? Because your facial expressions will also add to your body language, to your voice modulation, and will convey more meaning. So that way she will know that, okay, this is the recommendation, why and how I can incorporate this. For example, I can tell Toastmaster Suhema, for example, that Toastmaster Suhema, in my humble opinion, I believe that you could have used the stage more. How? When you're talking about this particular point, you go here, then from your childhood, you go to that part. And when you're using the stage like this, we are able to connect the parts of your speech with your stage movements, because you have kind of labeled each part based on that aspect of your life. So that way she knows that this is the recommendation. How do I incorporate this and why should I incorporate this? So 2 to 3 recommendations. And then finally, always try to have a clear conclusion. So we could say in summary, in conclusion, all in all, to wrap it up, like any little phrase to show that you're concluding. And then you repeat the commendations, like in conclusion, I believe that Toastmaster Mas had very good body language, very lot of personal stories, and excellent voice modulation. To take your speech to the next level, just focus on those 2 things, and you will be a more profound speaker, or on a positive note. That is how we will be delivering the evaluation. And always try to use positive language, always try to keep a smile, and always try to motivate the speaker to give more speeches in the future. And try to be creative. How? Like if the contest has a particular theme, you could also conclude with a theme, like if the theme is aspire to inspire, so you could say that I have no doubt that in the future and even now, you will continue to inspire people, or something of that sort which relates to the theme, to make it more creative. And you have 2 to 3 minutes. So the minute you see the yellow card, just try to come to the recommendations and wrap it up. And again, as I said, evaluate the speech, not the speaker. Use positive language and try to be a little creative. Do not repeat the speech, and motivate the speaker to give more speeches. Again, that will happen through positive language and the nice tone in the voice and the expressions, and listen carefully, and definitely you will be a very, very, very great evaluator whom people will look forward to listen to. And I wish all of you the very best for the contest season. I look forward to listening to our evaluators now also. And since I've taken my time, I would now leave the floor open for questions. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. So it seems no questions so far.
I have a question.
Prabha has a question.
Yes, sure, please.
Hello, Ms. Rubab. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a great session. I just have a question. In this virtual sessions, would you recommend people to give a speech sitting down, or does it help when they stand and deliver a speech?
Thank you so much for that question. And over the course of these months that I have attended virtual meetings, I've always heard people encourage speakers to stand and deliver a speech, because that just sets the tone and the mood for the speech. It looks more professional. So yeah, whether it's a prepared speech, humorous, table topics evaluation, it's always good to stand and deliver your speech, in my personal opinion. And obviously, while writing the notes and all for the evaluation speech, obviously we can sit, but while delivering, I think it's a good idea to stand and deliver the speech.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question.
DTM Rubab, thank you for that wonderful education session. I had one question. I've heard many people saying that sandwich, not like many people, but some of them say that the sandwich evaluation is good. But then there is also contradictory statement saying it is not good, because you will say something good about the speaker, then again something negative, then again positive, and then what according to you is the best method, to do it sandwich method, or keep recommendation separate and good things separate?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yeah, personally, for me, I do it the second way. So I always start off with a nice statement, then I congratulate the speaker for their wonderful job and anything which I liked about the speech, and then I always tell 2 to 3 good points, and then I give the recommendations and then conclusion. Yeah. So for me, that is the technique that I use. So it's more clear, and as you said, like, it's less confusing also. So personally, that's the one that I use.
Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best. And we have any other questions or thoughts maybe? And if not, then I hope that this session was helpful, and I hope that all of you will emerge as champion table topics and evaluation speakers. And it was really an honor and a delight to be here and to be able to share my humble experiences with you all. Once again, I thank the President, the VP Education, for this opportunity. Thank you, DTM Zakir, for inviting me. Thank you, Toastmaster Anupama. Thank you, all of you, for listening. And over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, DTM Rubab, for this entertaining and enlightening session.